Hey everyone, it's Miss Brooks with your Daily Dose of Math. Today we're going to talk about Section 2 of Chapter 7, Multiplying Polynomials. So the first problem we're going to take a look at is multiplying a monomial with a trinomial. Now we have multiplied monomial and trinomials together before, and the way that we do this is we use the distributive property. So in problem 1, number 1, it says what is the product of negative x cubed and 9x to the fourth minus 2x cubed plus 7? So remember, product is just a fancy name for multiply. So we want to take negative x cubed and we want to multiply it with every term in the trinomial. So basically we are distributing negative x cubed to everything in the parentheses. So negative x cubed times 9x to the fourth. We multiply the coefficients like normal. Negative 1 and 9 would make negative 9. The variable stays the same, but when you multiply, the exponents change. We're going to add the 3 and 4 together to make this now x to the 7th. Negative x cubed times negative 2x cubed. Negative 1 times negative 2 would make positive 2. The x is going to stay, but we're going to add those exponents together. X cubed and x cubed would make x to the 6th. Finally, negative x cubed times 7. Negative 1 times 7 will make negative 7, and we're going to keep the x cubed. So when you multiply, we're multiplying the coefficients, and we're going to add the exponents. So let's take a look at number 2. We want to find the product of 5n times 3n cubed minus n squared plus 8. So for this problem, what we're going to do, we're going to take the 5n and we're going to distribute it to everything in the parentheses. So 5n times 3n cubed, we would multiply 5 and 3 together to get 15. N and n cubed would make this to the 4th power. 5n times negative n squared would make negative 5. N and n squared would make n cubed. And then 5n times 8, that would just become 40n. So as we multiply the coefficients, add the exponents of your variables. Number 3, find the product, negative 2x squared times x squared plus 3x plus 4. So I'm going to distribute the negative 2x squared to everything. Negative 2x squared times x squared would be negative 2, x to the 4th power. Negative 2x squared times 3x. Negative 2 and 3 would make negative 6. X squared and x would make x cubed. And negative 2x squared and 4 would make negative 8x squared. So now that we've multiplied some monomials with trinomials using the distributive property, we want to take a look at problem 2, where we can use the distributive property to multiply two binomials together. So number 1 of problem 2 says to find the product, 2x plus 4 times 3x minus 7. So notice in between my parentheses, there's nothing there. So that would mean that we are multiplying these together. So I'm going to erase the line. I just wanted you to notice nothing was there. So in order to multiply binomials together, we have to use the distributive property twice. We need to take everything from the first binomial and multiply it with everything in the second binomial. So I'm going to distribute the 2x to the 3x and 7. So 2x times 3x would be 6x squared. 2x and negative 7 would be minus 14x. The 2x has been distributed, so now we need to distribute the 4 from the first binomial. to everything in the second binomial. So 4 gets multiplied with 3x to make 12x. 4 gets multiplied with -7 to make -28. Now notice that when I multiplied these, I wind up with some like terms in the middle, -14x and 12x. I do want to add those together to get a final answer of 6x squared. -14 and 12 would make -2x, and then -28. Let's take a look at one more on this page. Number 2, we want to find the product of x minus 6 and 4x plus 3. So what we're going to do, we need to distribute everything from the first binomial to everything in the second binomial. So the x needs to be multiplied with 4x and 3. X times 4x would make 4x squared. X times 3 would make 3x. And once you've distributed the first, you need to distribute the second term to everything in the other binomial. -6 times 4x would make -24x. -6 and 3 would make -18. Once you have distributed everything, you'll notice in the middle 3x and -24x are like terms. We're going to combine those to get a total answer of 4x squared. 3 minus 24 would make -21x. And then -18. The next problem we're going to do is find the product of x minus 3 and 4x minus 5. Again, I know I'm finding the product because in between my two binomials is no symbol. That means we're multiplying because all we see are the parentheses. So to multiply binomials, we need to distribute each term from the first binomial to each term in the other binomial. So x times 4x would make 4x squared. X times -5 would make -5x. And then we also need to distribute the -3 to everything. -3 and 4x makes -12x. -3 and -5 makes +15. Notice in the middle we have x's that can be combined because they're like terms. So we would have a final answer of 4x squared minus 17x plus 15. So you pause the video and see if you can try number 4 yourself. Multiply 5x minus 3 with 2x plus 1. So on number 4, the answer would have been 10x squared minus x minus 3, after you had simplified your two like terms in the middle. We're now going to take a look at two problems where we multiply a trinomial and a binomial together. So number 1, we want to find the product of 3x squared plus x minus 5 and 2x minus 7. So remember, product is just a fancy term to multiply your two polynomials together. So what I'm going to do when it's a trinomial and a binomial, same process. I need to take everything from the first polynomial and multiply with everything in the second. So the 3x squared needs to be multiplied with 2x and -7. 3x squared and 2x will make 6x cubed. 3x squared and negative 7 would make negative 21 x squared. Once you distribute the first term, distribute the next term. In this case, I've got to distribute the x to 2x and negative 7. X and 2x would make 2x squared. X and negative 7 would make minus 7x. Now, I've got one more term to distribute. That negative 5 hasn't been used yet. It also needs multiplied with 2x and negative 7. Negative 5 and 2x would make negative 10x. Negative 5 and negative 7 would make positive 35. So once I've distributed everything, I do want to combine my like terms and write this simplified. So I'd have 6x cubed, negative 21 and 2x squared would combine to make negative 19x squared. Negative 7x and negative 10x to make negative 17x. And then the 35 would drop down. So a trinomial and binomial is the same process. It's just we need to distribute 3 times instead of 2 times. So if we also take a look at number 2, 2x squared minus 3x plus 1 is going to be multiplied with x minus 3. So we're going to distribute everything from the first trinomial to the binomial. 2x squared and x would make 2x cubed. 2x squared and negative 3 would make negative 6x squared. Once we've distributed that, we need to distribute the negative 3x to the x and negative 3. So we'll get negative 3x squared and positive 9x. And then lastly, you need to distribute the 1 to x and negative 3 to get x and negative 3. Once you've distributed everything, combine your like terms. In this case, we'd have 2x cubed. The x squared would become minus 9x squared. The x's would become plus 10x. And the minus 3 would drop down. So when you multiply, you're just distributing as many terms as you have. This concludes our small lesson on being able to multiply polynomials. If you have any questions, please ask Miss Brooks. Otherwise, we'll catch you next time on your Daily Dose of Math with Miss Brooks.